Food for Thought began in September of 1983. Food for Thought started as a family-owned and operated business out of the kitchen of Susan Trishman, who was one of the three owners here. Moved into a space at the Elks Club and then moved into a space in Evanston, Illinois. And from there moved into this space in Lincolnwood. We have an array of clients and we do everything. We custom write all our menus. We have corporate clients as well as social clients. Sustainability came to be a part of what we do as we grew. It started with small things that we did within our office. We did sort of an audit here in our office building first and then went from there.
I'm Troy Christian, Director of Operations with Food for Thought. I've been here 9 years now, and since I've been here I started as warehouse manager and now I moved up to Director of Operations. We started composting last year actually. Composting was a big thing for us because everybody looks at the front end on how to be green, and we figured the back end is a big part also. When you realize the amount of food scrap that goes into landfills, it made perfect sense for us to compost. On the average week, we compost 2,000 pounds. On our busiest week, we've been up to 5,300 pounds of food scrap going to compost. We thought that there were going to be some big challenges in training our staff and getting people on board with it, but that process actually went easier than we expected. When we bring in a new staff member in the kitchen, they go through their standard training, all of our procedures on how to handle things, and composting is part of that. So it goes into their day-to-day training, and they work with a teammate who teaches them on how to do it and why to do it. All right, so in the kitchen, under each station, they have a bus tub that they put their scrap in as they're prepping. And there's also a few bins that are located in the kitchen. So once their bus tubs are full, they dump them into the bins. We fill them up all the way to the top. And then they bring the bins out here and they bring a clean one in.
My name is Joshua Palmer. I have worked at Food for Thought for 4 years. I am the tasting chef here and I enjoy working here. I feel like I'm helping out and doing my part for the environment to make it a little bit better.
When Collective Resources comes to pick up the bins, they bring in clean bins with new bags already in them, and they drop those off and they pull out the dirty ones. That way there's nothing going on in your operation, it's just a switch and it's a very clean operation. The lids are always kept closed except for when we're dumping into them, so the smell has been to a minimum. All right, so this is a type of vehicle that they use to pick up our bins, and they fit 35 bins in here and they'll switch them out for us 2 to 3 times a week depending on our volume. One thing we've noticed on our trash pickups, we went down from 6 days a week down to 3 days a week, so the cost of composting was almost a wash. The biggest impact we've seen since we've started it is how many people we touch by doing it. Our whole staff who were unfamiliar with composting, now they're starting to do it at home. Our clients in the field, where they also have their own green initiatives, it helps them on events to understand composting, and then they also learn from us on how to do it. Well, when we do events out at venues that don't have their own composting programs, we actually send our totes out to the event and we fill them there, and our client learns about it that way. And we also have the smaller buckets, so when we do a residential event, we can actually take them into people's houses. And a lot of times they ask us what these are and we explain to them the process, and they actually reach out to Collective Resources and start their own composting. The best advice I could give is to find the right partner. We started this process about 4 years ago, and it was difficult to find somebody that could handle the kind of volume we do for commercial composting. And then when we found Collective Resources, Erlene Howard's organization, it was a perfect fit, and she made it seamless for us to get it up and running.